Imagine waking up to find that a loaf of bread now costs $1 million. Sounds absurd, right? But this is the harsh reality of hyperinflation, a phenomenon where the prices of goods skyrocket uncontrollably. Picture the confusion and panic in countries like Zimbabwe or Venezuela, where hyperinflation has turned everyday items into luxury goods. This isn't some bizarre economic nightmare. It's a tangible issue with devastating consequences. Hyperinflation isn't just a concept in economics textbooks, it's a real issue that can dramatically affect economies and lives. So, what leads to this financial catastrophe? It all boils down to one fundamental cause: an excessive increase in a country's money supply. Imagine a scenario where the government, in response to economic pressures or the desire to stimulate growth, decides to print an excess amount of money. This is not as beneficial as it might initially seem. You see, while the amount of money in circulation is increasing, the supply of goods and services available for purchase isn't keeping pace. The result? An imbalance between the amount of money and the amount of goods and services available. This imbalance leads to a situation where there are too many dollars, pounds, euros, yen, or whatever currency you fancy, chasing too few goods. The natural outcome of this is an increase in prices, but it's not just a small, manageable increase. No, it's a rapid, uncontrollable surge in prices that can make everyday items unaffordable overnight. It's like being in a boat with an increasing amount of water but not enough buckets to bail it out. The boat, representing our economy, begins to sink under the weight of the excess water, or in our case, excess money. You see, money is a bit like a commodity. When there's too much of it in relation to the available goods and services, its value decreases, and the prices of those goods and services rise. When a government prints too much money, it's like adding fuel to the fire of hyperinflation. Now that we understand what triggers hyperinflation, let's delve into its devastating effects. Imagine this. One day, you're buying your favorite cup of coffee for $2. The next day, that same cup costs $20. This is hyperinflation at work, eroding your purchasing power. You're earning the same amount, but it's not going as far. Hyperinflation also creates a climate of uncertainty. If prices are skyrocketing, businesses can't predict their costs, and consumers can't plan their spending. The economy becomes a roller coaster ride without seatbelts. And then there's the economic instability. The economy is like a house of cards, with each card representing different sectors. Hyperinflation whips up a gale that topples the house, causing massive unemployment and bankruptcies. Think of Zimbabwe in the early 2000s, or Germany in the 1920s. In Zimbabwe, at its peak, prices doubled every 24 hours. The government had to print $100 trillion notes, and still, people couldn't afford a loaf of bread. In Germany, people had to carry wheelbarrows full of cash to buy basic goods. The economy was in shambles, and the social fabric was torn apart. Hyperinflation isn't just about numbers and economics. It's about people's lives, their ability to feed their families, and the stability of their societies. Hyperinflation is like a storm that leaves a trail of economic destruction in its wake. In the face of such economic chaos, how can one protect their wealth? There are a few strategies to consider. It's essential to remember that cash is the first victim of hyperinflation. As the value of currency plummets, tangible assets often remain resilient or even increase in value. Investing in real estate is one approach. Property, after all, is a finite resource. No matter the economic climate, we all need a roof over our heads, and thus property tends to hold its value. Another strategy is to invest in precious metals such as gold. Gold has been a standard of wealth for thousands of years and is seen as a safe haven in turbulent economic times. Diversifying your portfolio across different asset classes and geographical regions can also help mitigate the risks. While hyperinflation is a daunting scenario, with the right strategies, it's possible to safeguard your wealth. We've taken a deep dive into the world of hyperinflation today, but there's so much more to learn about money, saving, and economics. If you're keen to continue this journey of financial enlightenment, it's as simple as a click. Like this video, subscribe to the BIGPriceDrops channel. We frequently share content that not only educates, but also empowers you to navigate the complex economic landscape. Thank you for watching, and remember, knowledge is the key to financial success.